Welcome back, everybody. It's Captain Rex Whitcamp here on the Ready, Set, Live podcast. I have an interesting guest. I always have interesting guests on my show. Today, I'm honored to have Mr. Nick McGraw from Toronto, Canada. He's a brand designer and a digital marketer. And Nick, thanks for being on the show today.
Captain Rex, how are you?
Thanks for being on and taking your time out.
Oh, I appreciate it. Oh, man, I appreciate this. It's always nice to talk to good people like you, man. I appreciate it.
No worries at all. Today, I spoke with you just before the show, and we're starting a new topic today. It's building basically a series of events, a chain of events. And this is how a quick step process that can lead people from their thinking all the way into why it is that they're here to promote and fulfill their destiny in life. It's something that most people struggle with. And if they don't struggle with it, they're not thinking about it. So it's basically the topics that go like this. How somebody's thoughts can lead into having ideas, generating fulfilling ideas to promote behaviors, which then become established habits, which then build character, and then ultimately those characteristics form somebody's destiny. So that's what we're talking about today, how thoughts can lead into destiny. Nick, tell us just a little bit more about yourself so my listeners and audience members can know a little bit more about you.
Sure. I want to do this the Captain Rex style, where I don't want to just talk about what I do, right? I don't want to just tell you my job. That's right. My identity is only rooted in the work I do, and that's it. I'm nothing more than that, Rex.
Gotcha.
But briefly, what I do is I'm a brand designer, and I work with entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and small to medium-sized companies to help build up their branding. I help build up their logos and their branding, their web design, their social media content, all that good stuff. Who I am is a fairly energetic, outgoing guy. When I'm not doing my design work and I'm not schmoozing with my clients, which I love to do because I'm a huge extrovert and I'm a huge people person. I love going into a room. Strangers are my thing. I love meeting new people. When I'm not doing all that stuff, I'm pretty heavily into fitness, into exercise, getting outside. And again, just being with people, meeting with people, talking to people like you. That's what I'm all about.
Awesome. So thank you for that intro. Let's just dive right into these topics. Before you were a brand designer, you had something else going on in your life, but then boom, you had a thought. Maybe you were good at something. Maybe you found something about yourself. You did something that showed you and gave you the thought that you should be doing this as a business. What led you down that path?
It was actually you and I have talked briefly about, like, do entrepreneurs go through like an epiphany or that aha moment?
Yeah.
Is that switch ever flipped where that's it? This is what I'm all about. This is my destiny. This is my calling. For me, it was far more murkier than that. It wasn't very clear at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's a I'm not sure if you've ever heard it. There's a like kind of like a Greek proverb, and it talks about the 7 lean years. And life is kind of like the recessions that we go through, right? There's the 7 lean years, which are kind of down in the dumps, not very profitable. You're not doing very well, followed by the 7 fat years. And you always want to be in the 7 fat years because it means wealth and happiness and fulfillment and all the stuff we're chasing anyways, right?
Sure.
So it comes in waves. It comes in the 7 lean years and then the 7 fat years and the 7 lean years. Well, out of school, I went into those 7 lean years immediately. I wasn't really happy with any of the work that I did out of school. I really didn't have a vision or a path for my life. I wasn't very motivated, and I certainly wasn't, all the things I just described about myself. I wasn't charismatic. I wasn't outgoing. I was really, I think I was a really depressed person. And I tried really hard, and I was as motivated as I could be without having a vision. It's hard to be motivated and you can't see a life for yourself. It's hard to just get motivated for motivation's sake. That's not really a winning strategy or formula. So that's what I tried to do. I tried to force it, and nothing really came off. I went from okay job to meaningless job, and it just became more meaningless the first few years out of college for me. And we talked about, working for an employer and getting nothing out of it. And that's where I was for a long time, until right around the top of 2019, someone close to me introduced me to who would be my first very business coach. And that business coach, for the first 3 months we worked together, I was turned on to so many new things, so many new opportunities. And I was like, well, hold on, you can do this and you teach other students this? Okay, I can do this too, because I know what I'm actually capable of. I just never had that internal narrative, and I never had that internal dialogue. Plenty of people outside of me told me, you can do it and we believe in you. But that's only so helpful. You need to be telling that to yourself, and you need the internal story has to be so strong that even if all the outside world said you can't do it, then you're going to shut them out. I don't believe you. I believe in myself, right? And so that self-belief was just, I was allergic to it, man. I didn't have it at all until right around the mid 2019 era, where it basically, that was sort of my epiphany. I woke up to that. I'm like, hold on, I could have had this whole time. I just didn't know how. No one showed me. And so that's when I got turned on to business coaching and have someone in my corner. And I rearranged my entire business. And I was like, that's it. This is what I'm going to do. And I don't care how many years it takes. I still didn't have a vision formulated, but I had purpose and passion once again lit in
most
me.
important. Yeah.
Right. And so I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Like nothing's going to stop me now. Everything piled up as an excuse before during those 7 lean years. Everything was like, I'll never do it. No. I don't care if I don't have it figured out now. My thought process now is I don't have to have it figured out. I just need to have a will. If I have a will, there's a way, right? So, now that I'm turned on to that, a couple of years later, I remember going into 2020, it was like January 1st. I'm like, this is going to be the year, man. 2020 is going to be our year. And then March came and we were like,
COVID.
God, this may not be the year. But you know what? A lot of entrepreneurs got through that anyways, because a lot of entrepreneurs looked at it and said, okay, so we're going to have a slow March and we're going to have a terrible April. What about after that? And a lot of the companies that all these marketing and branding places and design places that they were working with, even though they shut down, they kind of fired back up again. And all of a sudden, all the contracts were back up, ready to talk about. All the clients suddenly found money and they like, oh, wait, we got to market harder than ever, right? So all of a sudden, all the entrepreneurs of the world said, oh, no, this is our time. We can do something with this. And so I got super motivated once again. And I was like, listen, I don't know when this thing is going to end. Right? It could be just 3 months, by summer, by Labor Day, we could all be back to work. Great. It could go a lot longer. It could be even shorter than that. But I'm telling you, this was my internal narrative, Rex.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there are going to be winners and there are going to be losers coming out of this thing. And I don't mean losers like lost your home, poverty, all that. I mean, there are some people who are going to take this as the opportunity that it is, the gift that it is to build something. And there are going to be people who squander it and do nothing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
To me, they're the losers because they did nothing. They didn't seize the day when they could have. And now they're thinking now, as you and I are recording this in April of 2021, oh, if only I did it a year ago, right? Because there's always, to those people, there's always something. There's always something. Well, I'll do it when COVID ends. Well, 2 years from now, there's going to be a recession. Well, I'll do it after that. Well, 3 years from now, there's going to be another one. There's going to be a housing crisis again. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. There's always something, right? The oil prices are going to go up and go down the same week. So you always have an excuse, right? But entrepreneurs are like, I literally couldn't care less what the world is doing.
Exactly.
I'm going to build my world. I don't care if the world eats itself. I've got something to do today and to the end of the week and to the end of my life, and nothing's going to stop me. So that's kind of where my head's at. That's a long answer, but that's kind of where I'm at.
It's so, and it's important to unpack just a little bit of that, and then we're going to move on. But thanks for your insight, and I know that what you said is going to resonate with a lot of my audience. But you said a couple important things, and mainly the first thing that I picked up on was that you found that thought and idea. You didn't really have it until you found a mentor, and I've always been told that a mentor will tell you the things that you don't want to hear to make you do the things that you don't want to do in order to take you to the places that you've always wanted to go. And that's what's important, to see the value of a mentor that believes in you, because we don't always believe it for ourselves because of all this society telling us it's a negative world. It's a negative stereotype. It's a negative, it's not everybody's fault. It's just a common disease that everybody has that they're used to. And until people make the decision to rise above that mediocrity level, then they're going to believe the story that everybody tells about them. And it's important to have that thought first implanted in yourself. If you can grow it and nurture it and believe that it's there, fine. But if you can't, that's why it's important to have a mentor to show you those things and believe in, to implant that seed, that thought that power center, that basically that belief to change your thoughts. And then from there, guess what happened to Nick? He started having all these ideas. He said, I'm going to change my business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to market differently. And you started to have ideas that were based on a thought that was created, or in this case, given to you by a mentor. And that's why it's super valuable to have a mentor in life for whatever you're doing. And not one mentor can probably provide you the direction that you want, but you wouldn't get a wealth coach for your fitness goals, and you wouldn't get a personal trainer to help you, consult in your business, but you find and you network with the right people to give you the right information at the right time. But you have to be open to the information, or else nobody can help you. And now you're stuck at square one. So it's important that you made that leap from thoughts into ideas. And so let's talk about the ideas portion, So what happened? Like, was there, when this clicked for you and you started having ideas about how to run business, I mean, what did that do for you personally? How did that make you feel? And like, what sensation did that bring you approaching your destiny?
So that's such a great question. I've very passionately and very intimately subscribed to the idea that I am here to serve others, man. You're allowed to make money. You're allowed to be successful. You're allowed to chase capitalism. You're allowed to build a business, and none of that should make you feel guilty, as long as you're actually helping others and changing lives. Like, I'm not exactly putting people back together in an operating room. Like, I'm not saving lives that way, but I am definitely helping people who have no real way to build their businesses or branding or any of that, to help get more customers, to help scale. They're just stuck. And that's kind of my mission in life. My mission is to help serve my clients the best way I can, to help their businesses explode. Again, I'm not saving lives, but that's how I'm helping. And that's how I'm choosing to serve, with visual branding, with marketing and things like that. And when I decided that I would subscribe to this built to serve attitude, like one of the thought leaders that I love, who's Evan Carmichael, he wrote a book called Built to Serve. I have a signed copy of it. I read it every year. When I finally subscribed to the fact that, you know what, I'm not in it for me. I'm allowed to benefit from it, but I'm not in this for me. I don't care about me. I care about other people. I want to help them. This is how I know I can help them. This is the expertise that I bring. I won't be able to solve every problem. Again, they don't come to me to consult on their finances. They come to me to consult on their brand image and how they can be a better company.
It's so important that you triggered that, and you came to the conclusion of not just what you're doing and not just how you're doing it, but why. Why are you doing it? And that's what propels you. That's what sets you different from other digital marketers and branders out there, is because you have a purpose of fulfilling why that it is that because it's part of you. It's, as we were talking about earlier, it's not just being part of something, not just being part of your business. It's something's a part of you, where it's like, it's my mission to serve my clients in this capacity. And those ideas have now created behaviors that you most definitely follow in your business. So talk to me a little bit about some of the behaviors that you may have, is maybe not necessarily just in your business, but what are some of the behaviors that came from following those thoughts that grew into ideas that then created behaviors in your life for, maybe a business work ethic, or something maybe on your fitness side for in the gym, or something like that, where it created a behavior pattern?
That's a great question too, man. We're talking about serving them and built to serve, right? And that you are here to help others, right? Like, you really have to make it about other people. One of the behaviors that has kind of taken root for me is it's this concept that another kind of business coach, one I never hired, but one who I was around for a little bit, and she taught me some valuable stuff, and this one will stick with me forever, is to serve them 3 times before asking for anything, before asking for a sale, before asking for the business. What does this look like? It looks like giving away free advice constantly. It looks like taking that call, that free 30-minute call or 15-minute call, and expecting nothing in return. I'm not trying to onboard another person. I'm not trying to sign another person today. I'm just trying to be helpful, right? It could be giving away free content. You and I are both content creators. It could be publishing content. Here, this is what's in my head today. This is free strategic advice. Please action it. Please use it. I'm giving it away. I didn't ask for money for it. Or you'll make a free ebook, or you'll make a free course or something. Here, take it. You need it. I made this for you. Serving people in different ways. It could look like anything. It could be putting a YouTube channel together so you can have a library of all my advice, of everything I've ever thought of. or taking those calls, or helping them and pointing them in the right direction. Maybe I'm not the right person for you, but I think this person, or I could direct you this way, would help build up your business today. I don't think I'm the right fit. Whatever that looks like, serve them more than you ask for their money or you ask for their sale.
Yeah.
When you serve them 3 times, right? Something happens. There's the triggering mechanism in them where they're like, this guy's way too valuable. I just need him in my corner now.
Yep,
And when they see how valuable you are, right? That's one of the behaviors that I have found, is that I'm having conversation after conversation. I'll have 10 conversations, Rex. I really will, until they're comfortable with the fact that, you know what, Nick, okay, now it's time to get serious. I need you. I can't be talking to you anymore and not do anything, right? So they come to the conclusion on their own, essentially.
Right.
I'm in a client services world, and so I need to be serving them.
That's excellent insight, Nick. And people don't understand that. You have to give value, before demanding. It's not about me. The why that you've established as a behavior pattern, it funnels back to providing service and value. And people don't realize they don't get paid for their time of what they do in the marketplace. They get paid for their value. And when you provide all this massive value, you're doing so much more up and above. It's a no-brainer for clients to come and come back to your business model, because they need that value, and they see such value in it that they would rather pay you, even if it's, and then you can demand a higher rate, because you are providing the value, and you got to know your value in the marketplace and in life when nobody else does. So that's amazing insight. So let's talk about how some of those behaviors have then become habits. Now, this is getting further down the line, right? So now we've created thoughts, right? Or given thoughts from a mentor. We've started to establish ideas, and those ideas have become pattern and actionable behaviors that now they're turning into habits, right? It's not just, hey, I'll just go serve 3 people 3 times, and once a week and then I'll try that. This is an established habit. So that's a great habit. What are some other habits that you've learned or that you've established from those behavior patterns that were put in place?
So I've probably got 2 that will definitely help. One will sound very business related, very, company building, empire building related. And then one is kind of more like on a self-care level, which is also super important. I didn't think self-care, well, I don't need that. I'll work till I'm dead. Yeah. Until I had my second burnout in just a year. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to take care of myself at some time. And I don't mean like washing your face and taking a bubble bath. Self-care looks different for everybody. Sometimes it's an hour and a half of Xbox or PlayStation. Sometimes it's just reading. Sometimes it's taking a weekend trip for a recharge. Sometimes it's painting, or it's violin, or whatever self-care looks like to you. That's super
You need to have
important.
an out. Yeah, for sure.
You need to have an out that is not rooted to profit. You don't even tell anybody about it. You don't put it on Instagram. You don't advertise it, because then they expect more and more and more. And then it feels like a job. And then you need to do something for you that really no one else really gets. It could be going on 3-hour hikes. I don't care what it is you do, but that needs to become habitual as well. Not to the point where it takes away from your main meaning in life and your main drive in life, but like something that's just for you, something that you're not going to slap a price tag on, something you're not going to slap a label on. It's just for you. If you buried it in a vault for the next 500 years and someone unearthed it 500 years from, great. It's just for you, right? So that's super important, and I've turned on to that, and I've subscribed to that, and I encourage other people to do it too.
Yeah. That's a really, really good one. That's a really good one. How these habits are important, and it doesn't have to be something business related. It just has to be something that provides you some strength within, some anchoring, some power center issues that you can just come back, a fallback point, a retreat point, your level, your benchmark. It's going back to what the possibilities are for your life, because you can then turn those around and then start applying those habits back into those areas of your life. So it gives you a chance to re-love what it is you're doing as your main drive, right? Awesome. So like I'm doing my client services, right? When I step away from it and do my own recharge thing, my self-care thing for 3 days or a long weekend or whatever, by Sunday I'm missing it. I'm like, Monday, come on, let's go. Like entrepreneurs look forward to Monday, right? So it gives you a chance to miss it and love it, when by the end of the week or by the end of the month or by the end of the quarter you were burnt out from it. It gives you a chance to love it again. So that's really important as a habit. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that the more business-related one that I can think of is, it has a different name in my world. It's not quite habit. My current business coach, who I've been working with for about a year now, when he introduced me to coming up with processes and systems in my business, whether it's hunting down new clients, like prospecting people, or an onboarding process, or even doing a podcast like we're doing here with you, blocking out time, coming up with strategic processes for every single thing, like building out a real pipeline, a real workflow in my business. When I got clarity on that, because everything was a mess, everything was just a scrambled mess, couldn't make sense of it. When I started putting real processes and real systems into my business of how I wanted things to work, when I started putting automation into it, whether it's like chasing down an email or it's sending out a proposal, when I started having automation and having processes and systems in my business, things changed, man. Things changed. Not only did I get clear, did I get focused, I stopped spending time on this admin bureaucracy stuff that drains me anyways. I'm not a secretary, I'm not a receptionist. Unfortunately, as an entrepreneur, I have to be those things day to day. I'm not only creative services and creative director, I'm receptionist and I'm janitor. I'm all of these things all the time.
Exactly.
But when I got clarity on injecting systems and processes, like I have so many Google Docs now of systems and processes that I have that I got to revisit all the time. Like, oh, that's how I do that. That's right. It just helps me take a breath. It helps me remember how it is I do things so I can get super focused and I don't have to waste a ton of time. So habitually, these processes and systems have now kind of just organized my life. They're kind of like a rule set for how I run my business. Not so much my life, but how I run the business. And it's so much better, man.
It's awesome. And what you said is important, where the idea of just taking some time for yourself to then revisit. I'm reminded of a statement that Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft, made, that he said, take a week for thinking, take a thinking week, and basically do nothing else but think about your thinking. Think about where your goals are, what you're going to do, your strategic mental planning. That's so important. And if you can't take a week off and you don't have the luxury, do just a little bit. Go on that 3-hour hike or do the painting or do whatever. And that's going to bring you focus back into those other channels of your life that you're trying to, to sustain. So that's very important. So those habits are, once you build them, it then defines who it is that you are now, because your habits will promote your character, and this is the last step in the chain before reaching your destiny. So talk about how those habits have led to your character and how that's built. What's like, it kind of defines who people are. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Well, I mean, I love that you brought up Bill Gates, and if Bill Gates is telling you to take a week and he has time to take a week, you have time to take a week. I'm sure. Well, I don't have time I'm too busy. Bill Gates built modern computing across the globe. He locked himself in a room for 10 years in his 30s and built Microsoft, and he has time to do that. You don't have time to do it. You don't get to fly in the face of Bill Gates.
What people should remember is the first sign of a loser is an excuse. And so when it's raining out or whatever's happening, or because there's a recession coming, there's always something. There's always an excuse for every loser that's out there. So we just got to be past that.
I'm pretty sure I've heard Warren Buffett say things like self-care is important. This was the richest man on earth just like a year ago. Okay, so, and he still is what, top 2, top 3? This guy can tell you to take a breath. You owe it to yourself, right? So you're asking about character. Lay the question out for me again, Rex. What is it?
So essentially, we're going down the line here for the chain of events. Thoughts leading to ideas. Ideas become behaviors, and then those behaviors become habits. Those habits are now building a character. So the habits, the ritualistic and sustained, repeated habits that people take, it now becomes, well, that's the guy that does those things. He's the guy that does this, that, and the other, because he's established those habits based on behaviors and ideas that were thoughts initially. So those habits become characters. And so we're going to jump to this and just kind of determine, we're just making the connection between how habits that were established build somebody's character. And it's kind of we really don't need to beat this to death. It's just people are defined by the characteristics of the habits that they build, that they form. That's essentially it.
I think it's really cool, especially in my world, to see it from the perspective of other people. I get together with my fiance's family, I would say every 6 weeks, obviously observing COVID rules wherever you are in the world. But we try to get together every couple of months, right? Whether it's a birthday or it's Christmas or it's a Thanksgiving, whatever it is. And it's really interesting to hear the feedback and to hear the response from people that I didn't even ask for, right? When I walk into the room and the people who are following me on Instagram are following the work I'm doing, because I'm always posting about, I'm working with this client, I'm working with that, we're doing some cool things. The things that they spew out, which is, hey, I really like what you're doing lately. It's really cool. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just got here. I didn't even take my shoes off. What are you talking about? The thing you just posted, like that cool piece that you did, really cool, man. You're making waves. And I keep hearing this over and over and over again. And I wasn't believing it at first. I'm like, I'm just doing my thing now. I think I found who I want Nick to be. I think I found what I want McGraw to be about for the rest of, eternity, as long as I can run it. I'm just doing my thing. I'm not looking for gratitude or any praise or anything, but like, it comes out of them. It comes out of the people who I don't see often. And their assessment is, listen, we love what you're doing. Keep it up. You are killing it. Right. And I'm like, I never thought of that myself. Like, I don't know where you're seeing that, but then that starts to paint a clear picture for you as well. Like, I guess I'm doing that. Like, I guess I am doing a good job. I just got to keep my foot to the pedal to the floor, and just keep moving ahead and keep doing the thing that I'm doing. If they seem to be digging it and my clients love me, then this is the feedback that I want. So this starts to formulate in your head. Oh, I guess I could be this person. Like, I guess this is forming my character. Not that outside influences should tell you who to be, but like, it's a good feeling, man. It's a good feeling. Like, you know what? Yes, I think I have something here. People are starting to take notice. People are reaching out to me now more than ever. This is what I want to be. And it's a good feeling.
It's most definitely important. And it's funny that you realize that people are determining and forming a characteristic and knowing that about your character before you are. And that's because you're fulfilling, you're racing, your foot on the gas, you're go, and you're propelling. The people that are listening to this podcast, and Nick, if you recycle this and people are going to listen to your podcast, whatever you're seeking in life, it's also seeking you. And so if you propel your vision, you propel your life into the direction of your dreams will be racing back towards you in an equally or faster manner. And so when you're defining all these things throughout your life and you're building your character, it's already being met at you from the opposite side, because people are coming to you and say, this is who you are. You're doing great. You're doing great things. I can see this about you. And you're like, I just got here. Just haven't even taken my shoes off. Who are you? And it's because your character is flying towards your destiny, and your destiny is coming back to meet you before you're even aware that this is, honestly, before you were establishing this for yourself to realize it, and that's great, because this chain of events is actually working for you as well, and it can work for anybody that's listening. So thank you for that, Nick. So, again, I just, in conclusion, I just want to thank you for your time. And so if you got some real value out of this content, I want to thank Nick. Go and follow Nick. Where can people find you online?
Oh, well, that's a great question. So you can always visit my website, which is McGrawsome.com, McGrawesome. So it's kind of my last name with awesome. It's super cool that I invented that, isn't it, Rex?
Am I not the
most creative person you've ever met? So it's just McGrawsome.com. Come say hi to me on the website. I also live on Instagram. Rex and I are connected on Instagram. It's McGrawsome. It's at McGrawsome Design. Come say hi.
Like, follow, and share, folks. It's good to be surrounded by like-minded, positive people. And Nick, you are definitely on my list of those qualities. So thanks for taking the time out today to build this podcast, determining how people's thoughts can lead them into their destiny. You guys just listening to this, just go get started thinking. Just put your pen and pencil down, go get into a quiet place and just start thinking about your destiny. And these chains of events will lead you right to them. And then you'll be surprised to know that your destiny is also chasing you down, wanting to put you in a stranglehold, wanting to get you out there to do what it is you're supposed to be doing. So thanks for this episode for the Ready, Set, Live podcast. I'm Captain Rex. I'm your host, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay on the positive, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Rex.
Take care, buddy. Have a good day.